Yo, what is up guys, Bob87 King here, back again with another video, and in this video we're finally going to be doing the winner rankings. And yes, obviously I've done this before, but that was me ranking the games that they actually played on the season and not really them more so as characters. Again, a couple rules I will be placing for this video. It will not be an overall character ranking because I feel like that would be very boring, and I feel like most of you guys already know how I feel about every single character, so that would just be a really kind of wasted video, honestly. And secondly, I will be only ranking them based on the season that they actually won. So obviously, yeah, fitting into the not really ranking them based on overall as a character. I will not be including people who just don't have a, winning scenario. So people like Cody, Millie are not going to be on the list. And to be honest, even if they were, would they have really been that high on the list? Probably not. And unfortunately, I will not be including people like Bowie, Julia, Kayla, because the reboot actually does have official winners, so there's that. I did debate on including Gwen, and I did include Gwen for this video, but it's like everyone knows that Owen is the canon winner, so I really did debate if I really should have Gwen, but I figured she has an ending anyway, so why not just have her there anyway. So yeah, let's just get to the list, starting off in dead last. Just letting you guys know, I will only be talking about three winners who all have the same kind of theme in my opinion, just being winners who, when I think about the season, I don't necessarily think about them, I think about other characters. And honestly, if you take them out or just have them be like a way earlier boot, I feel like nothing about the story truly changes. And nothing is more apparent than the last person. Starting it all off in dead last, we do have Wayne Crawford. Straight up, before I start ripping into Wayne, I want to say that even if I was doing like a character rankings about all these winners, I do think Wayne probably would still be in the bottom three, but at least I would have more positive things to say about Wayne than I will right now. I just think the show pretty much banked on the fact that since Wayne was a really wholesome, likable character in season 1, that would be enough to just leverage him enough to win the season, and also having Julia have this massive villain arc when really all of her villain shenanigans were just off screen, and for them to just constantly write Caleb as this idiot time after time after time again, to where that would make you want to root for Wayne, but it really just didn't for me. Again, I was rooting for Julia still, and I was like neutral to the idea of Caleb winning. I thought Caleb was going to win coming into the finale, and I would have been relatively mid on him had he actually had won, but the fact that Wayne wins after really doing nothing throughout the entire season just really rubbed me the wrong way. Not to mention the delusional Wayne stands that really just fuel him as this underdog who everyone underestimated, when it's like, yes, everyone did underestimate him to an extent, but it's like he didn't prove anyone wrong. Again, people still view him as an idiot, and to be honest, I bet Raj and Bowie still view him as an idiot. Honestly, Wayne just did nothing throughout the season, and again, there's nothing he truly did, and that's a shame because I feel like there's a lot you could have done with Wayne on this season and for him to be at least a decent amount of a winner. Again, you could have had him have this storyline similar to Lindsay and Heather and Island, but replace Wayne and Julia, and send home Raj a bit earlier, so then Wayne can constantly get manipulated by Julia, since Wayne has no friends essentially, even though apparently he was closer to Damien, and like they would constantly talk as if Wayne and Damien were actually friends when they really just weren't, or they just never interacted on screen together. Again, Wayne absolutely did nothing, to where if you take Wayne out of the season, nothing truly changes. Like if they just decide to sit Wayne out because, he was massively injured in season 1, but decided to keep Raj in for whatever reason. Again, nothing on the season changes because Wayne had no story arc for him. Again, when I think about season 2 of the reboot, I don't really think about Wayne, and the only time I do have to think about Wayne is just really just drags the season down completely, to where I just don't like season 2 of the reboot because of Wayne winning. I mean, there's other stuff of the reboot season 2 that I hate that I'll talk about during a season ranking. But it's like, I think about Julia and MK, I think about Caleb and Priya, I think about the potential of Nichelle, I think about Ripper and Axel getting together, I think about the potential of Emma, I think about a lot of other things before I actually think about Wayne's character, and I think a lot more characters were so much more deserving of the spotlight than Wayne, because Wayne did nothing in the spotlight. Again, it's fine to have a supporting character win, and it's a kind of good idea to have the weakest character of your generation win a season, because maybe that could give them a story arc going forward, but it's like, they truly just did nothing with Wayne. Again, similar to what we're going to be seeing on the list, where I have a lot of the similar archetypes kind of being around the bottom of the list, but it's like they truly had so much potential, but yet never did anything with them. And honestly, my opinion about Wayne as a character just constantly goes down, more so about his fan base, and also the fact that they think that Wayne was this massive comic relief, when it's like, First of all, he wasn't really there for most of the season. And again, similar, even though the Surfers team that was actually eliminated, I think while the Surfers were gone, I would debate that they had the same amount of screen time together because honestly, I cannot tell you a single thing Wayne said that was absolutely funny. The only thing that comes to mind is maybe the intern stuff, but then again, I don't even remember what was said because Wayne was just a forgettable character. He's a really forgettable winner, and if he is the last winner of the show, I think that completely tanks total drama. I mean, yeah, Wayne just sucks. I really don't like his character. I think it's pretty obvious by my community taglines, and I just don't really have much else to say. So yeah, he sucks. He's the worst winner of the show by far. And if you think Wayne is a good winner, I truly cannot believe that you're over the age of 12 years old. Take that as you will. Wayne sucks. He's at the bottom. Next up, we do have winners who were eliminated and came back into the game, and that is the Surfers. And this does suck to put Jeff this low. Obviously, I'm a big Jeff fan. I loved him in action. I feel like him in action in that arc was actually pretty fun to watch. And I know a lot of people didn't like it because he was mean or whatever, but I'm personally a fan of like comic relief characters turning into villains, people like Chase and Ripper. Again, I love those type of characters, but on Redonkulous Race, he was just kind of just a better version of Wayne. Again, they didn't really have a story arc throughout the season. They got eliminated, and while they were gone, again, every other team was just completely better. I think from the final 9 on, I think you could have picked any team to win, and it would have been really satisfying. Maybe not the Ice Dancers because they were the villains, and to be honest, would they have been that satisfying? Not really, unless they showed more of like Jose and Jock's heroic side, or not really heroic side, but at least like show more complexity to them than them just kind of being villains essentially. But I think any other team would have just been a better option, but they chose the Surfers for some reason, which I think was really weird. Again, Brody is not really my all-time favorite character. I've mentioned this before in the past. I think they should have went with DJ completely because I feel like Brody's just a lesser version of Jeff, and to be honest, I would say just a better version of Wayne, but that's just because I just hate Wayne in general. So yeah, there's that honestly, but I just don't really care for them while watching the season. And while yes, they were fine and I didn't really have a problem with them winning at the time of watching, I think for sure whenever I think about the season, I just don't think about them. I don't really care for them, and I don't think they really had a story to tell. So yeah, with that being said, they just weren't really that memorable on the season. They weren't really the best characters either. So yeah, the Surfers are here in second to last. And the final winner that we will be talking about in this video is a winner who I actually don't think many people expected. A lot of people expected Mike, Zoe, Duncan, Owen. But the final winner that we will be talking about here is Lightning. I do want to emphasize the fact that this ranking is not overall ranking of them as characters. Again, if this was, again, Lightning would probably be number 5, 4, 6, probably around that sort of range. But his winning game just kind of sucks, similar to how I ranked his game strategically. Again, Lightning on Revenge of the Island is just a character who, similar to the other two we just talked about. When I think about Revenge of the Island, I unfortunately just don't really think about Lightning. Again, I think about Lightning more than I thought about Jeff in Redonkulous Race or Wayne in the reboot. But it's like, I feel like Revenge of the Island was more so just about Scott, Mike, and I guess Cameron to an extent, and also Joe, Amaria, Brick, Dakota, Sam. Again, while Lightning definitely did have his funny moments, I feel like when you think about Lightning as a winner, it's just so weird to me. Again, obviously, I feel like Cameron is kind of the canon winner of the season, so again, it's kind of hard to really rank Lightning in that sort of light, similar to the future clear runner stuff that we will be talking about. But it's like, I feel like Lightning just is kind of the worst out of the three. Definitely, or at least a few runners up we do have to talk about later on the list. Again, I just feel like Lightning kind of did nothing, and they kind of just served him no real storyline outside of his rivalry with Joe, which was funny, but I feel like Joe was such a much more fleshed out character during that season. Not overall, because I like Lightning overall more than Joe, but it's like on the season, again, Joe had so much more other character dynamics. Joe was a much more fleshed out character, and I feel like Joe was a much more well-rounded character during Revenge of the Island. Again, everyone's rooting for Cameron. I don't believe anyone was really rooting for Lightning. And while, yes, overall, I would have loved if Lightning had won. Again, when you compare Cameron and Lightning during Revenge of the Island, again, I feel like more times, often than not, the majority of people, outside of people who are just delusional and just love comic relief characters, cough, cough. I'm not naming names here, but I'm just going to cough. Again, it's like Cameron is obviously the choice. Again, Cameron had a lot more better dynamics. He had an underdog story. And why wouldn't you like Cameron during Revenge of the Island? So yeah, honestly, Lightning, again, not the worst winner in the world, but definitely not the best in the slightest. And there
That's
you
why
have it.
Lightning
That's
is
part
third
one
last.
of the winner rankings. And part two will probably be out next week, where I talk about 3 other winners, or who knows. If I have like short things to say about it, maybe I'll extend it longer, but I'll probably make it a long part series just for the fun of it. Again, these are the 3 winners who I believe are the worst, simply just because, again, when you think about the season, you don't think about them. And similar to the Surfers and more so Lightning, I just feel like they're kind of the runners up, so it's kind of hard to really rank them that high because I don't feel like they are the winners. While for a winner like Wayne, who is essentially the official winner of the season, it's very hard to ignore that. So yeah, there's that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and yeah, peace out.